Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May the peace, mercy and blessings of God be upon you all. My name is Iqbal Nasim. I'm the Chief Executive of the National Zakat Foundation, and it is my privilege to welcome you all here this evening to Grenfell Together, an event to mark the coming to an end of the formally constituted Grenfell Muslim Response Unit, which has been hosted by the National Zakat Foundation since September 2017. I'd now like to say a few words about the formation of the Grenfell Muslim Response Unit, its relationship with NZF specifically, and what it has achieved. National Zakat Foundation is the country's only Zakat institution with an exclusively local focus. Zakat is an obligatory payment that Muslims who have a certain threshold of wealth pay on an annual basis at 2.5% of their qualifying assets. And this money is used for various purposes, including support and relief for those in poverty, as well as to further the cause of devotion to God in society. National Zakat Foundation, as I mentioned, is the only organisation that collects and distributes zakat locally within the United Kingdom, and since our inception in 2011, we have distributed more than £10 million of zakat grants. And the bulk of that has been to people who have suffering in poverty and in destitution. And so when the Grenfell fire took place, we were able, amongst others, to respond with cash grants. And that was our immediate response. And alongside many of the other organisations, Muslim organisations at the time, we came together, and the word, or the name rather, Grenfell Muslim Response Unit organically emerged to represent the collective effort of Muslim organisations. A couple of months after the fire, it became clear that ongoing support was needed, and therefore that the GMRU would need some sort of formal constitution. And so National Zakat Foundation, we offered to host this unit, and we were generously supported by Muslim Aid, Aziz Foundation and Islamic Relief, amongst others, to fund a small team to provide ongoing support to the families who had survived. And this was born out of a will not to be there just for the very short term, but to make sure that we did our best to stay with those who are still suffering and still going through difficulties. One issue that came up at that time, and perhaps you're even thinking now, is what was the importance of having Muslim in the name GMRU? Why the Grenfell Muslim Response Unit? Why not just the Grenfell Response Unit? I think there are three important reasons as to why this particular part of the identity is important. Firstly, we do what we do as Muslims because of our commitment to God. And that is what Islam means. The word Islam means commitment, devotion, subservience to God. And at a time when God is increasingly absent from public conversation and private contemplation, we remain unashamed to have it be known that we continue to believe in Him, be inspired by Him, and see service to people as part of our service to Him, which is fundamentally what Islam is all about. Secondly, in this particular case, so many of those affected by the fire and the surviving families were Muslim. And so the faith element and sensitivity of service provision was key, even though the GMRU served families regardless of their faith affiliation. And finally, at a time when half the country, based on recent statistics, has negative perceptions of Islam and Muslims, a clear association between positive work and the Muslim identity can only help to build bridges and challenge prejudice, especially at a time when division in our country seems to be escalating day by day. What did the Grenfell Muslim Response Unit achieve? The GMRU acted largely as a need-based service which would fill the gaps in and amongst existing provision, trying to ensure that solutions were found for those who were affected by the fire. It has worked with over 50 organisations during its lifespan. It provided grants to over 500 unique individuals. Through dedicated family representatives, it worked on a one-to-one basis with 116 families directly and indirectly affected over the period of 16 months. In the immediate 10 days after the fire, it provided emergency housing to more than 37 people. It set up a response line on the 17th of June 2017, just 3 days after the incident, and took over 1,500 emergency calls. The GMRU was involved in the planning and provision of over 40 burials. It advocated on behalf of families on issues such as housing and legal, and provided legal support through the GLS, the Grenfell Legal Support. With all this incredible work, the unit has shown the vital role of faith-based voluntary and charity groups in the ongoing attempts to support those impacted by the tragic events at Grenfell Tower. And the unit has embodied the prophetic narration that the best of people are those who are of most benefit to others. The GMRU will publish its final report on the response to the tragedy in spring this year. The report will explore the role of the GMRU with a view to feeding to wider discussions on the future of the charitable sector's emergency preparedness and community resilience across the United Kingdom. At this point, I'd like to pay particular tribute to the formidable GMRU team, and I'd like to name them: Adil, Umar, Karima aka Donna, you can ask her about that one later, Najla, Kulsum, to those team members who served temporarily, Amina, Sarah, Shamoli, Yasmin, and of course the one who I know who would prefer not to be named, but who has led this team with such excellence, Zain Mia. To demonstrate high quality leadership in the easiest of circumstances is often not the simplest of tasks, but to do so in the midst of crisis, desperation, anger and fear is where true leaders make their mark. As they say, cometh the hour, cometh the man, and Zain has done just that. So thank you, Zain, and thank you to all of you in the GMRU team for your wonderful work. I ask God Almighty to accept your efforts, to overlook any shortcomings, and to make your work a source of blessings for you and your families and your lives in this world and the next, just as your work was a source of blessings for others. In closing, and in the spirit of reflection, I'd like to conclude with some verses from the Quran and a prayer. God says in the 2nd chapter of the Quran, "You who believe, seek help through steadfastness and prayer, for God is with the steadfast." And then a couple of verses later he says, "We shall certainly test you with fear and hunger, and loss of property and lives, and a loss of the fruits of your labor. But give good news to those who are steadfast, those who say when afflicted with a calamity, we belong to God, and to him we shall return. They will be given blessings and mercy from their Lord, and it is they who are rightly guided." God, I ask you to grant your mercy to those who passed away, to envelop them in your care, to grant steadfastness, ongoing steadfastness to the families, to accept our efforts. We thank you for the opportunity to have served and ask your pardon for wherever and whenever we have fallen short. Please bless our gathering today and bring us closer to you and to each other.